Hi, I'm Andre from Byun's Jewelry. I'm located at 640 South Hill Street, number J28. We sell new and vintage watches and jewelry. Our family's been in the business for 45 years. It was actually started by my grandfather years ago. Then my dad did it, and now it's me. We mostly specialize in gold and platinum jewelry, mostly engagement rings and just small trinkets and bands. Well, since I grew up in the watch industry, I guess it's always been a part of my culture. I think watches are very interesting because each piece has a history to it, and some of the designs are rooted in history, and it was just to figure out a problem for its time. Like, for example, this Cartier with the graded bezel. It was designed to protect watches, to prevent damage in trenches or just for any kind of rugged activity. This watch we have right here is a Seiko Kinetic. It was designed for the Honda Racing Formula One team. It looks like watch dials, and it was actually a 100th of a second chronograph. And it has a lot of history in terms of the case design. So we have our Breitlings and some Omegas and Concord watches over here. We got some vintage pieces like this ladies watch. In the 60s, 70s, the integrated band was more popular, which is kind of coming back with a lot of the new vintage watches, like the Tissot PRX or like the Nautilus, which is why watches like this are popular, because it kind of has a Nautilus look to it, but it's an Omega quartz watch. This would be about $1,000. It's gold-plated. We also have this watch, which is an IWC anti-magnetic watch. It was designed for engineers in high electrical fields, kind of like the Rolex Milgauss or other Milgauss type designs or anti-magnetic designs. Since mechanical watches have a balanced wheel, if it's next to a high magnetic field, it'll alter the timing of the watch. And watches like this are designed to prevent that from happening. Like MRI machines or anything where there's a high electrical magnetic field around you. This one is $4,000. Yeah, over here in this section we have vintage Cartiers, some IWC and Longines watches. Cartier always has a very classic design, which is timeless. And I think that's why even with older vintage pieces, people still look for them because they influence the modern watches with their classic designs. There are some tanks here. These are the Pashas over here. That's a Must 21. Oh, the blue dial is actually a special edition piece. It's a blue dial with factory diamonds. The entire watch is white gold. This is a factory set diamond dial watch. It's made out of 18 karat white gold, and it's a special edition, which is why you see the Cartier motif inside the blue dial. This watch is $26,000.
Wow.
A lot of people prefer white gold watches because it's more stealth wealth than yellow or rose gold, where it's more flashy. This one is a Tank Panther. It's more bracelet style, which is why you see the band and why it's so wide. This watch is $4,000. Yeah, over here we have some Chanel vintage watches and some Bulgari watches. These are more high-end fashion watches. So you can buy a Chanel watch to match your purse, and Bulgari watches have a more sporty theme to it. It's more like a sport luxury type watch. Chanel's typically range between $3,000 to $5,000. The Bulgaris, are around the same price too, around $3,000 to maybe like $8,000. This section we have some Tag Hero watches. Probably the most popular model right now is the throwback to the 80s and 90s. This is a Tag SEL, which was very popular back in the day, just because of its integrated band and its two-tone looks. So Tag actually kept this band. They call it the Link now. But back then it used to be called the Sport Elegance. And it's one of the first, well, not first watches, but yeah, very popular watch from Tag with the integrated band. This watch you are looking at $1,000.
Okay, so it's very affordable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very affordable. We also have vintage Gucci's like this, which is very popular these days. These watches have an integrated bezel, so you can rotate these out and put in a different color bezel to match your outfit or your mood.
I see some Movados over here.
Yes. Most Movados these days are known for their iconic black dial, where they just have a black dial dot, no numbers, just a clean dress watch. Vintage Movados had a more radical design cue, so they actually had numbers on the dials. They made chronographs, but these days they mostly stick to quartz watches with the clean, minimalist look. This is a modern one. Movados typically run between $300 to maybe $1,500. We also have a wide selection of Japanese watches. Yeah, vintage Seiko and Citizen watches. Like this watch, for example. It's a nice mix of digital and analog watch. Seiko do have their own movement. This watch is pure battery. It's actually known as the Stars and Stripes model, which was designed for yacht racing. This watch is $300.
Wow, that's very affordable for
Yeah.
a very old watch.
In general, Seiko makes a wide variety of watches. They make watches anywhere from $100 up to like $10,000, $20,000. So yes, they have a very wide spread, and they do make watches for every type of customer. We normally carry mid-tier Seiko watches, such as, this is a new edition. This is a Seiko GMT. It is popular because it has a very retro look to it, but you have all the benefits of having a modern watch. Good water resistance, because for vintage watches, you don't really want to take them in water, because you don't know how comparable the case is or if there's any leaks that can occur. But for watches like this, you can use it with full function. This watch is $400. So for modern Seikos now, there's 3 tiers. There is the Seiko line, the Seiko Lux line, and the Grand Seiko line. Price points for each the 3 points are vary greatly. Seiko goes up to maybe $1,000. The Lux line goes up to maybe around $2,000, and the Grand Seikos can go $5,000 and up. Back here, we just have a wide mix of watches. We carry anything from Seiko, Citizen, Bulova, ESQ, from all different decades. The same here. This is a continuation of our mixed line of watches. It can range anywhere from watches from the 60s and 70s up to the current generation. Yeah, I chose to specialize in this bracket of watches because each design has a purpose and a theme behind it. And there's more to watches than just it being jewelry. You know, there's different design cues, different styles, and I think it can be a really fun hobby to get into. I think everyone wants one Rolex, but after a while, they all kind of look the same because they all have the same design language. Once you start collecting and getting into hobbies a little more, you want something a little more unique than just what everyone else has. One of the watches I have is this Tank Basculante. What's unique about it is it actually flips open. The original purpose was for polo players to protect their watches while they play the sport. Watches back in the day were a lot smaller than they are now. I can show you. We have World War II style watches, which is what the US GIs wore. And even military spec watches back then were this size, wow, 33 millimeter versus the 38 to 50 plus millimeters that are popular right now. We also get watches that we are currently working on. So this is Omega Dynamic. It's just a very unique design. It has a bullseye type dial, plastic crystal. We're just waiting on a new band for the watch. So it has the original buckle, the original band, which is kind of not in great condition, but also the original tag. This watch is from the 60s. I've been collecting watches probably for a good 20 some odd years. If I had to choose a favorite watch, I think it really depends on what activity. I think if I just want a daily watch I can just use and abuse, it'd probably be a Seiko Diver. And for high-end watches, I do like my Cartiers and Rolexes. Thanks for checking us out. We're located at 640 South Hill Street, number J28, and it's Byun's Jewelry.
Okay guys, the day has finally come. We're gonna pick the winner of the Valentine's Day sweepstake. Now, when you enter our sweepstakes, whatever they are, you need to make sure you follow all the comments. You have to be local, like for this one. You have to be able to come and pick up the prize. You have to bring me a lunch special from somewhere. No, you don't have to do that part of it. Okay, so but you have to follow the rules. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna pick the winner now. We're gonna be very transparent like we were with our 10,000 subscriber giveaway, so everyone can see that we're doing it legitimately. But I think we're gonna pick maybe 3 winners just in case the people don't get back to us, because you have 24 hours from the day we put out a video or we contact you or whatever to claim your prize. And if you don't, then we're gonna move on to the next one. Okay, so let's do it transparently. Let's look. Okay, so here's our giveaway. We're gonna copy it. We're gonna go here. We're gonna put it in here, and we're gonna put 3 winners. Okay?
Only the first one is the actual winner.
Correct. Okay, so here are the winners. So we picked 3, and the first 2 is the same, which is fine because you can have multiple entries. And then we have the 3rd one here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna reach out to the top 2 winners, which is the same winner. And if they followed all the rules and they did what they were supposed to do, then they're our winners. And if not, then we're gonna move on to the next one, and we're gonna let them know if they're the winner. And then I see some more down here, but let's just concentrate on these here. Let's see if we can get them to be a winner. So please make sure you enter all of our contests because you too can be a winner. All right, let's reach out.